For me, I think the biggest thing that football taught me was how to overcome adversity.
At some point in your life, you're going to have some tough times.
You have to have that next play mentality.
That cohesiveness and that working together, that's really something special that you can't get in a lot of other areas.
When you practice that and you live that in other phases of your life, it becomes second nature because all you know how to do is fight.
It's not an easy game. If it were easy, everyone would do it.
You start to appreciate the smaller contributions that people make. You don't just look at the big one because you knew it took 6 or 7 other guys who are unsung.
And you can't take shortcuts and be successful.
Doing what they do to make it possible for the guy getting the press clippings or whatever it might be.
In this game, whether it's as a coach or a player.
So I would certainly say that you definitely got a very quick lesson in how to overcome adversity playing football.
Welcome to FootballGameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bring you our preview of the 2016 Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl between the North Carolina Central Eagles and the Grambling State Tigers. And we're going to start this video off by taking a look at some keys to victory for both teams in this ball game. Starting with North Carolina Central in this ball game, quarterback Marcus Bell's precision will be key for the Eagles. He's an outstanding passer and also a great runner. If he can have some success throwing the football against this very tough Grambling secondary, it bodes well for their chances. We saw him be precise against North Carolina A&T, and they're going to need him to be precise as well against Grambling. Also, North Carolina Central has to win the special teams battle. I like what they bring to the table from a kicking perspective, from a return perspective, and also from a coverage standpoint. If they can win the third aspect of this ball game, it bodes well for their chances as well. And the Eagles also have to keep their foot on the gas on both sides of the ball. This is what gave North Carolina A&T problems when they played each other a couple of weeks ago, which is why the Aggies found it tough to come back. It also, quiet as kept, gave Grambling problems in the SWAC championship game with Alcorn State. Alcorn jumped out to an early lead but couldn't keep their foot on the gas on both sides of the ball in the second half, which is why Grambling was able to come back and ultimately find themselves in this bowl game. So if I'm North Carolina Central, with the way their offense can get out on you quickly and with the way their defense can get after the quarterback, it's important that they keep their foot on the gas for 4 quarters. And for Grambling in this ball game, they have to avoid those costly penalties. That's what got them into an early hole in the SWAC championship game. This is a football team that averages between 8 to 10 penalties a game. That can't happen against a team like North Carolina Central. And the offensive line of Grambling, which has played great all season long, has to continue to play excellent football against one of the very tough defensive fronts they've faced all season long. If this offensive front can do a great job of keeping Devontae Kincaid well protected back there in the pocket, then Grambling's offense will have a ton of success moving the football down the field. And the Tigers have to get off the bus ready to play. I thought they kind of sleptwalk through that SWAC championship game versus Alcorn State, and it nearly cost them a trip to the Celebration Bowl. That can't happen, obviously, versus a team of the caliber of North Carolina Central. So if the Tigers can get off the bus ready to go like they did in the second half, this is going to be a great football game. The biggest X factor in this ball game for North Carolina Central will be the play of their outstanding linebacker, Reggie Hunter. He's the quarterback of their defense. He's their leading tackler. Also has 11 TFLs, 4 interceptions, so he does a great job on both ends of defense. He's going to have to do an outstanding job in this ball game of making sure running back Martez Carter doesn't get going early and often for the Grambling Tigers. If they can make this team one-dimensional, it bodes well for their chances. So Reggie Hunter, in my opinion, will be the biggest X factor in making sure the Eagles can accomplish that goal. And for the Tigers, I look at their defensive line. I think their defensive front can have a lot of success. They have to be able to answer the bell against North Carolina Central. You look at guys like Samuel Reese, Lauren Blaine Winston, 2 outstanding defensive linemen. If they can collapse a pocket and force Malcolm Bell to stay within that tackle-to-tackle box, it goes well in helping this team, making sure they defend the pass very effectively. And also, it helps them clog up those running lanes. So those 2 defensive linemen, Reese and Lauren Blaine Winston, I think will have to have huge games and make life a lot easier for Arquez Cooper, their outstanding linebacker, to make plays running downhill. Now here is a look at some of the top NFL draft prospects you want to keep an eye on in this ball game. And as you can see, with the bevy of talent on both sides of the ball for both squads, you can understand why these two teams are here in the Celebration Bowl. You look at Chad Williams, the wide receiver out of Grambling, 6'2", 193, has already accepted his invitation to the NFLPA Bowl, which is an all-star game that takes place in January at the same time of the Senior Bowl. So a lot of other guys on this list, like Guy Stallworth. We talked about the 2 defensive linemen for Grambling as well. Malcolm Bell, outstanding quarterback. You also look at their tremendous offensive tackle, Desmond Cooper, at 6'6", 325. I think he has the opportunity to play either left or right tackle as a pro, and he has a great chance to raise his stock going up against those 2 outstanding defensive linemen of Grambling. So again, a lot of Sunday talent will be out there on the field on display for you draftniks watching the 2016 Celebration Bowl. Now, I won't give a prediction because I'll be at this game in attendance doing some scouting, but on both sides of the ball, be on the lookout for how well both teams come out offensively and which defense steps up to the plate early. I think we're in store for yet another outstanding Celebration Bowl. Last year, the inaugural game between North Carolina A&T and Alcorn State was an instant classic. I think this one has a chance to be another instant classic, a great one to kick off the 2016-17 bowl season.